Hey folks, I'm back. It's me, Mahbub Chowdhury, aka the People's Coach, aka your host and speaker for today. Now, in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about having a tit-for-tat relationship with our spouse. How about that? How about being in a relationship where you also owe your spouse something because she or he has done something for you? But let me remind you something. Let me tell you something that you may have not thought about. If you're in a tit-for-tat relationship where you don't do it solely because you want to give, you don't do it solely because you love that person, you don't do it solely because you feel kind and compassionate and mercy, you're in it, you're doing something for your spouse because you expect something back, you want something in return. When you're in a relationship of that thinking, it's only self-destructive for the relationship. It's self-destructive for you, and it's also destructive for your spouse, because then you start playing each other off. I'll give you an example. You may have done the housework for your spouse, but in return you want something back. Or you're either reminding your spouse, look, the other day I done this for you, why can't you do this for me? And vice versa. So I do something, you do something. I do something, you do something. The list is endless. But it should not be about that. How about it being in a relationship where you care for your spouse, where you're giving for free and you're not expecting anything back? When you come in with this mindset, when you come in with a mindset of giving and not just taking all the time, then your spouse would replicate that same action towards you. But if your intentions are you're only doing an action because there's a sinister plot, there's a sinister plan behind your motives, then it will backfire on you. Then you'll be a relationship, then you'll be in a relationship of tit for tat. You give something, I'll give something. If you don't give anything, then I'm not going to give anything. How about just giving? There's nothing wrong with taking, but that shouldn't be your motive all the time. This is the thing that I'm trying to bring to your attention, people. Relationship is not just about taking. Majority of the time, in fact most of the time, is about giving. Because when you give, you contribute. When you contribute, you grow. Your relationship flourishes. And of course, that has to be a two-way thing. There has to be a mutual understanding, because if one is taking and one is giving, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're always doing it, then someone is going to break. Someone is going to suffer. You have to give and you have to take, and you have to keep on alternating it. That's what it's about. It's not just about taking, or I've done something for you and you owe me something. The relationship is not a debt. You're not in debt to each other. You're doing it because you love your spouse. You're doing it because you want your relationship to thrive. That's what it's about, people. In life, it's all about giving, because when you give, you will get back. When you don't give, when you become stingy and you only take, then someone will take the advantage of you. It's only a matter of time. You can only get away with that for a short period of time, until whatever goes around comes around, and when it comes around, it will hit you hard, and it may even come unexpectedly from different aspects and areas of your life. So, people, be mindful about how you treat one another. Give and keep on giving. The funny thing is, when you become a giver, you develop this strength, because that's who you are. But, let me tell you something. You need to be very, very careful of who you choose to give, because there are liberty takers out there. There are people who deserve your time, your effort, your help. And there are people out there that will take all that away from you, who don't deserve it. So you have to decide and decipher who you choose to give. But you should definitely give your nearest, dearest loved ones. You should give. You should give to the people who you trust. You should give to your family, those members who you trust, those members who you have built up a quality, sound, solid relationship with. You can only give if you have a good relationship. You can only give if you develop trust in your relationship. And that has to be a two-way thing, my friends, my folks, my viewers. So people, that's all I have to say. It's just a little reminder. It's just to point out something, to bring to your attention, to incorporate and adopt in your relationships. If you're in a relationship where it's not so good, and you're giving, and the other spouse is just liberty taking, they're just taking and they're not giving anything back, then it's your right to hold back. It's your right to connect and communicate and look for different, better ways of dealing with things. Otherwise, you'll leave yourself short. So people, I hope that's been insightful. I hope that's given you something to think about. Now, what do I have to say at this present time of day? All I have to say is, until then, take care, stay strong, stay focused, and always live to learn to empower and inspire the lives of many, as well as yourself. Bye for now.